Imagine waking tomorrow to the same bedroom, the same morning light, yet everything looks strangely alive, as if a hidden layer of reality just clicked into view. Colors seem saturated, ordinary sounds carry faint overtones, and somewhere behind your forehead a gentle pulse whispers, "You finally noticed." That shift is not fantasy. It is the natural consequence of a practice once reserved for secluded temples and traveling mystics, a practice powerful enough to rearrange the way your brain filters the unseen. For centuries it slipped from public memory because guardians feared misuse, but mass forgetting is ending. If you are still listening, a part of you has already crossed the first gate. Inner vision is not an exotic implant or a supernatural organ. It is the brain's latent capacity for multisensory synthesis, the same faculty that lets you dream in high definition without physical eyes. Newborns use it effortlessly. Toddlers speak to presences adults can no longer register. As childhood conditioning narrows perception, the signal grows faint yet never disappears. Every time you sense someone staring before you turn, each instant a phone rings just as the person forms in your mind, the channel flickers back on. What we call a third eye is really a cortical network awaiting coherent stimulation, much like a silent radio until a precise frequency nudges it awake. Three synergistic forces create that stimulus. The first is conscious silence, not the absence of sound but the hush that appears in the pause between thoughts. You have felt it drifting into sleep, that soft hum when mental commentary fades. Cultivating wakeful silence opens space for subtler data your noisy mind routinely overrides. The second force is sacred breathing. Breath is the only physiological rhythm you can control or release at will. When shaped with intention, it becomes a bridge between cortical focus and autonomic depth, coaxing the nervous system into receptive coherence. The third force is directed focus. In a world engineered for distraction, sustained attention is rarer than electricity was to medieval peasants, yet the inner lens sharpens only where attention rests. When silence, breath, and focus intermingle, they strike a spark that lights the hidden circuitry. You will not need incense, mantras, or mountain caves, though they can embellish the journey. The essential preparation is mental real estate, clearing a small, recurring window in your schedule and claiming it with firm intention. 10 uninterrupted minutes trump any elaborate altar. Select a chair, corner, or patch of grass and decide that this patch is a doorway. Some days traffic will throb outside, children will shout, devices will ping. Meet the noise as part of the curriculum. Each intrusion strengthens concentration by giving you something to release without resistance. When you sit, spine long yet relaxed, close the eyes lightly and begin the SCP breathing ritual. 7 measured breaths that escort awareness through successive layers of depth. On the first inhale, imagine warm gold entering nostrils, lungs, bloodstream, while the exhale carries surface tension outward like dust. With the second and third breaths, lengthen each intake, drawing the gold behind the eyes, down the spine into the belly. Time softens here. Seconds stretch as if the outer clock has slowed to accommodate you. During the fourth breath, a subtle swelling may form between the brows, a tingling crown, a gentle outward pressure against the skull. You are not fabricating these sensations. The brain's microvasculature is responding to altered CO2 and attention metrics, amplifying neural synchrony in regions long underused. The fifth breath often triggers fleeting imagery, soft indigo mist, geometric glimmers, whispers of forgotten music. Let them pass as easily as clouds. Sixth and seventh breaths ease you onto the threshold state. Muscles heavy, mind crystal clear, body breathing itself while a quiet observer watches. Remain here without trying to push further. Inner vision is shy and arrives when enticed, never when pursued. Sooner or later you will encounter 4 guardians. Doubt is the voice asking whether any of this is real or just creative daydreaming. Treat doubt as a scientist treats a hypothesis. Investigate, record outcomes, but do not let premature skepticism abort the experiment. Fear follows, a hollow flutter that you may lose familiar ground. Acknowledge the sensation. Remind yourself you can open your eyes and return at any moment. Impatience will surge, demanding fireworks now. Smile at it and recommit to subtlety. The last guardian is spiritual ego, the urge to feel superior for glimpsing what others miss. When that shadow appears, bow to the mystery and remember that true vision increases humility, not pride. Each guardian, once befriended, becomes a stabilizer, preventing imbalance as perception widens. The inaugural awakening rarely resembles cinema. It may arrive as nothing more dramatic than walking outdoors and realizing the air around every tree hums with a faint inner light, or hearing a friend's voice and instantly sensing the story behind their chosen words. Some experience a nocturnal bolt, a vivid hypnagogic panorama where symbols line up like constellations, delivering compressed insight faster than language can decode. However it appears, the effect is unmistakable. An ordinary moment infused with impossible clarity, followed by a certainty that normal has expanded. Integration begins the following morning. Keep a navigator's journal, a phone note or scrap paper, to capture incidents where intuition sharpens, synchronicities cluster, or emotional atmospheres become visible textures. Resist preaching revelations to those unready. Seeds sprout best in receptive soil. Instead, let practical compassion prove the value of your vision. If a colleague's mood appears as a dim haze, offer listening before advice. If a route change tugs at your gut, honor it and reflect later on what unfolded. The more these micro-confirmations accumulate, the more inner sight weaves seamlessly into grocery lines, project meetings, bedtime stories, until the distinction between mundane and mystical dissolves. With time you will notice your attentional radio slides between bands. High beta alertness for driving or calculation, alpha calm when daydreaming, theta bridges during twilight practice. You will learn to swim through these currents at will, using conscious silence like fins, breath as propulsion, focus as compass. When colors brighten or coincidences accelerate, you will recognize the tide is carrying you deeper and ride it with poised curiosity. What began as a forbidden technique becomes, through repetition, the most natural sense you own. You will still pay bills, answer messages, laugh at ordinary jokes, yet an undercurrent of luminous context runs beneath every task. The world does not change, your capacity to meet it does. And that, ultimately, is the gift the old initiates protected. Not escape from reality but a fuller entry into it. Close the eyes one final moment, breathe once through the heart of the forehead, and allow the gold to settle like sunlight in clear water. When you open your eyes again, the room will look the same, but you will not be the same observer. The journey is open-ended. Return to the practice tomorrow and the day after, refining each pillar, mapping each new layer with patient wonder. If what you discovered today resonates, meet me in future explorations. Our shared experiment has only begun, and reality still holds countless doors awaiting the turn of a silent, well-timed breath.